Welcome, I'm your host Ava Ojo, and today I have Elfina and Sumana. My name is Ava Ojo, and I'm saying that again. That's Ava Ojo. To talk about self-discovery, and for you guys to understand their journey on how they got here. What's really funny is how we met is that these two were actually my bosses for Golden Mag, so things have changed. These guys were. Boss baby. No, for real. Yeah. They were the editor-in-chiefs, and they really held it down that year, and I just thought, why not reach out to my old Golden gangs? And if you guys want to introduce your guys' selves and just tell me about something that, happened to you recently that you're happy that it happened.
My name is Sumana. I am a Cancer. I am 22. I'm currently a college student, and I am interested in a lot of different kinds of creative things, and also we'll definitely get into in this conversation, but something interesting that's happened to me recently. I just went on a New York trip. That was really, really fun. Very much so just feeling like going to a bigger pond with a lot of different kinds of people and energies, which is always really refreshing, like just traveling with friends and getting to experience myself in different ways is always very opening and like simultaneously grounding, because when I came back I was like very centered into myself after doing like all these different kinds of things. So yes.
Okay, I'm Elfina. I'm 22 years old. I'm a Taurus. I'm a creative and also a student. I'm very interested in like production and like style and writing. And something that happened to me that was interesting, I think was also on the New York trip, was that when I was in Tompkins Square Park, there was a man who was playing in the park, and he was playing my mom's favorite reggae artist, like this song that is just like so, like my mom literally showed me this and it was so random, and I was like, what? Like it's like a Sierra Leone reggae artist, and it was just really random but very like kismet. And so I was like, oh my god, like hello. I literally was like, what? Like I'm hearing something so familiar, and then I went and found and like caught the end of the song, and it was just so beautiful, and I gave him a round of applause, because it's like, what are the odds that some white guy in like New York, I mean maybe those odds are increased because it's you know what I mean, any song, and it was just like, it was so beautiful, and I was just happy to catch that moment. So
that is beautiful. You should tell us more about the yellow thing.
Oh yeah, okay, and so I set intentions for the trip, and that's one thing I want to bring in, is being intentional and like setting intentions for like everything. And then I also set intention that I would see something beautiful in yellow. And my old roommate who lives in New York now, I went to go see her, and like she had like this beautiful little garden behind her apartment, and in the garden there was a willow tree, which is my favorite tree. But then like as I was exploring back, like there was like this beautiful little seated area that was in yellow, and it was just like so cute, and like the vibes is just like a nice little garden. It was very quiet, and I was like, damn, like even in New York it's still moments of
little pockets,
you know what I mean? And that was cute.
It's the magical moments. Like in New York City, that's what I miss the most. I mean, the people, and I mean, because I was a Girl Scout. So,
oh my gosh, in New York?
Yeah, I was. I know. Girl Scouts were good. Rangers on the subway.
Building some shit, like redoing a building.
No,
right.
Fulton Street. No, no. I mean, we sold cookies. I mean, I'd be at the corner of the bodega, just screaming my voice out like, cookies for sale. And I mean, that was just like a community there. I really had my community, and I found myself. I don't know what your guys' stance on about, is everyone a part of something, or like, are we just all in this delusional space where it's like, no, we're all on our own. Is that sort of kind of...
Oh, this is a very interesting portal. I have a lot of thoughts on this one.
Okay, yeah.
Also, like, we'll be yapping about stuff like this all the time, just to reaffirm our own belief systems. Communicating these kinds of concepts, nobody talks about these kinds of things, and nobody, like, I think it really perpetuates individualism. living in America, like we're living in a very individualistic society. People get patted on the back for living in a studio apartment and not being in a community space. Like it's almost seen as like the more independent and like free thinking you can be, the more like you are America's ideal human.
Yeah.
Even the people that we respect on like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, like people that are idolized for what they've done, they're all looked at as like an individual pioneer. Like you
Right.
rarely see a collective of human beings. Like even if you think about like in America, like a collective that has done like insane shit for America, like the Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
That's not ever like nobody talks about that.
Right.
They will always highlight very specific kinds of entrepreneurship, but that I think it like creates a huge amount of like dissociation because people think that like real success happens on its own. Like
Right.
one
Or it has
flower
to.
growing on its
Right.
Out the
Away.
mud on your own.
own, all
Struggle.
away from all this shit. Like you just came out all on your own, but like the more I'm only baby age 22, the more I've seen, the more I know, like literally I will not be able to make it anywhere meaningful on my own. Everything happens with the people around, like the garden that you're in, like everybody's germinating on their own path, but like we are intertwining and sharing energy in a very mutualistic way. Like energy sharing and like sharing inspiration and creative impulses, happy impulses, following that together. Like even that New York trip, that's like a perfect example of like collectively experiencing a joy together rather than like I need to get shipped off so I can understand this all on my own. Like we can understand so much more in the context of everybody around us.
Yeah.
I learned so much, and I think I absorb a lot more by watching how other people take in life as well, and their own experiences of a moment that I was like, oh, maybe I didn't like think anything of that, but then I see how somebody else reacts to it, and I'm like, you bring a new brightness and context. Another person can bring that brightness in a way that like I might have never been able to. So I think our collective power is like, it's unspoken for the most part, but it's felt. I feel it so much with the people that I'm around. That's also a testament of like being very picky about the energy that I allow into my life. Because kind of like you were saying, like you came here and then it was like, I'm trying to be a part of you, but like this you feels like separate. I very much so experienced that when I came to college because I like stopped being friends with a lot of people that I was originally friends with in high school because they were just, the relationship dynamics were like becoming quite bitter and like toxic. So I was like, we need to start fresh. You can't open your heart up to new shit when you still have ties to like things that are like polluting you. So yeah, it was very much so like a brand new start, and it did take like a good chunk, like 2 years of just like being like alone, being lonely, being around people, still feeling lonely, and then just being like, I'm just in this bitch. I'm still me, like regardless. And then slowly the right people just kind of started coming.
Your human journey, it's individual, but it's very much collective, and because we're existing together, that makes us like somehow tied together. And I feel like finding community or camaraderie like between people is like you have to be so yourself that the people who aren't for you will literally like shed away. It's not gonna mesh, it's not gonna fit. But then once that energy is cleared, like you'll find one, two, then it's like then you are working with something. Because I think being who you are is a natural deterrent from people who aren't supposed to be like your community, your people. Not everyone is going to fit with you, and that's okay. And I think being okay with that, and like, but having faith, because it's like then working with your own individual relationship with yourself, being secure within yourself to know like you're okay being alone, that's what's going to like align you more to like a stronger tie, because you're already secure.
Because from the pandemic, I mean, that was just a complete like cold turkey, and that was a great like evaluation of the people that I had in my life. When did you guys really come to terms with like yourself and like this is who I am?
I think I'm still coming to terms with it. I think I'll always be coming to terms with myself, because the more I allow myself to lean into myself, the more I realize that I'm barely actually leaning. Like truly actually like letting yourself be, and be just whoever it is you came here as, whoever that person is that you actually don't have any say in. Like you just came into Ava Ojo. I came into being myself. Like, we're all just born into the lives that we are in. You can't fight yourself. Fighting yourself creates resistance. And that you're saying, like, being around people that you felt like you were maybe like fitting yourself into a mold to like appease or do something, like fit in some kind of way, that is like, I feel like a lot of people like almost like unconsciously do that. I've for sure done that, but it's an active unlearning of like, what do you want to choose? Do you want to self-sacrifice in a way where you are like cutting off one arm to be in line with a group of people that might also be cutting their arms off to fit around each other, or just completely abandon that bullshit? Because there's literally two options, like Elfina was saying. Once you choose, actively choose, like, I want to explore myself over the idea of like satiating other people's idea of me, then you're like, okay, you're gonna first go through your own system of critique and your own system of preference and passion and following your own impulse over like, what would this person like to see out of me? Because that, it's like, you'll never even know who that person truly is. You only ever have like your own compass, and you can only like align closely with other people who are aligning well in their own compass. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the people that are authentically themselves, you can just feel it because they're like the rocks in the stream that are like parting the water in a way, not just like, let's just go wherever it takes me. Like, that's cute and all, but after a while it's like, I just generally became interested in like, okay, what do I want? I have one life. What do I want to do with it? You know? My dad said this one thing to me one time that I will literally never forget. He said that the difference between people that like do and chase the things and actually get the things that they want, live their dreams, and the people that don't, the difference between those two people isn't actually like confidence, it's just the audacity to do it. The audacity to literally live and be in yourself, just the audacity. You don't even need to be confident. I'm a very anxious fucking person.
Yeah.
Deeply anxious. Like, I question and overthink all the time, but that doesn't mean that I can't still do the shit that I want to do.
You said something to me and it was like, I think don't let the fear be what stops you. And I think that's something that I've written on my wall. Because it's like, yeah, like do it scared.
Do it scared.
Do it scared.
Yeah, I'm doing this scared.
I'm
doing it scared, you know, and like
Because at the end of the day, it's literally, did you do it or did you not?
Right. It's a little bit vulgar, but it's like you either like do the thing or you could just jump, like you just die, because there's only two options, and it's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So it's like literally like you can commit to this action or you could just kill yourself.
That's literally it.
Unless you choose a little gray where you're constantly stagnant, you're not doing what you want, and you're just existing and wasting time, and you're constantly depressed about all the time that you're wasting not doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, like making the conscious decision to be the most potent version of yourself, even if you are afraid to be that person. Leaning into the moment of who you are, like being, like pushing the gas down all the way in this version of yourself. And as long as you commit to the present version of yourself, you are living your truth, you know? You're
to the best you can.
To the best you can, to the best
It's not
of your
perfect.
ability.
It doesn't have to be. You're not going to not make mistakes. You're not going to not embarrass yourself. You're not going to get everything the first time. But, like, are you going to keep trying? Or are you just going to, like, you know what I mean, collapse? Because, like...
What I've struggled with is not the confidence part, and maybe that intertwines with it, but it's the self-esteem. And just being accepting of myself, and then stating, okay, I'm enough. As finding friends and finding where I want to be in the next, couple years, or even doing this, it's just being okay. I'm going to stop being perfect, because that anxiety has been just telling me, no, it has to be right. It has to be at this time.
Even if it's not perfect, you're still worthy to have everything you want.
Yeah.
I think the self-esteem is the biggest part of expression and confidence and everything, and I feel my own journey started with attacking my self-esteem issues, because and that was also 2020, where I feel like I had a very big pivot point where friendships from high school, like just constantly feeling like you're in the same pattern, same feelings of loss. And if you, especially people who are socialized as women, it's like I found this book in my parents' house about codependency, and that was like, that's when my whole journey began. And I think you're very right when it's like it doesn't end, because that was 4 years ago and I'm still like in that bitch. Like it's not I'm like, damn bitch, like you still don't think you're worthy? Okay, like even though you've had the practice, it's like you're constantly going to be getting tested. Like life is long. It can be short, but life can be long, and it's like not magically one day you're going to wake up and all that's gone. Because, and I was even telling Sumi, like if you think about it, think about high school, like think about everything up until 18 years old. Like you, even when you're 18, you don't have full control, you don't have full autonomy of yourself, of your life. You're put under circumstances, you're put under whatever you're socialized. And people who are socialized as women, black women, like you're socialized to be very like passive, you're socialized to people please, you're socialized, especially not having representation. Like that's just what children do. They want to conform, they want to not be the odd one out. That's human nature. So it's like everything from that point, it's like out of your control really how you're approaching it. And like, you know, you're just trying to exist, you're trying to like have love and be happy. But then it's like once I was like 2020 hit, and like seeing past relationships and just like feeling that sense of like loss, constant, like especially with self-esteem issues, codependency issues, it's like a loss that you reflect back, not that oh this just happened, but it's like oh this happened because I'm X, or because this, like why does this keep happening to me, like that victim mindset. And it's like you just feel without power. And I feel like 2020 I like started reading this book about codependency and really kind of like seeing how codependency functioned in my relationships and my friendships was a big part of like my whole like beginning, like the rebirth. And I feel like everything from 18 now, it's like you're a baby, you're starting back at zero. That's how I view it. I'm like, I don't care what anybody says, bitch, I'm a baby. Don't look at me too closely, like I'm a motherfucking baby. Now you're reprocessing all that, and now you're making the conscious effort of like, how am I going to re-raise myself, retrain myself, and how am I going to live my life now going forward? Because I feel like even in high school, like I feel like I used to use other people's problems and like absorb them to ignore what was going on in my own self. Like it was very twisted. It was very twisted. Like I'm focused on these white girls issues, and I'm like no, and it's like babe, you got 10 times the issues, like why? And then they leave you in the end anyway, so it's like, and now I'm like oh my, literally. But it's also like babe, but do you actually care, or are you trying to hide from yourself right now because you don't think you're worthy to be looking inside of what's going on inside of you?
Wow.
There it is. That's
Yeah.
a big
That's a huge one.
And it's like, okay, babe, you are like, if we change that, like, okay, you are like, how do we reapproach that? Like,
oh my god, it's
rebuilding
literally
that.
an addiction to avoiding yourself.
Avoiding, and that's
It's an
what, and
avoidant
that,
attachment
and
to
if you think
yourself.
about it,
It's an avoidant attachment to your own
to yourself,
Wow.
and you're with yourself forever.
Yeah.
You're with yourself
That's
to
the
the
longest
fucking end. That's the
relationship
long, and I feel like
Yeah.
learning that that's the longest, you're your longest relationship, that changes everything. And I feel like, girl, what's going on? And it was just like, but baby, why? Like, why is that the case? Like,
I feel like it's so important to be in a calm, curious interrogation of your own responses, because question, why do I, if you've noticed that there's like a recurring kind of pattern that comes up of, am I worthy of doing this? Am I good enough to be doing this? Oh, do I have like the qualifications? Do I seem like, you know, like the endless mind chatter that can come out of like inadequacy, like a feeling of inadequacy. I'm going down like a spiral like that of like self-deprecating, like rumination, or just like, I don't even know what I'm doing, First of all, I think I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, this shit's so old. Like, I'm tired.
no, I'm tired. I'm literally tired, bitch, because it's like, we've been here
I'm
before.
tired. I've been here before. I've gotten the t-shirt, the hat,
And it don't hit the same. Self-deprecation, at a certain point in time, self-deprecation doesn't hit the same. It's like, oh, it's my fault.
Aren't we tired?
Is it?
Like, is it actually? And also, second of all, I love that. Like, sometimes I do this thing where you realize like self-deprecation is like a private form of like masochism. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like lashing yourself a little bit. So sometimes in my own mind, I'll be like, oh my god, you're dirty. Like, you just like hurting yourself, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, you just like hurting
What's up
yourself
with
a
that?
little bit. What's up with that?
What's
And
up with that?
Yeah, if you contextualize it in like a, why are you trying to hurt yourself right now, bitch? Like, go figure out a different way to like take that energy off.
Because if you were doing that to someone else,
I would never do that to someone else. So why am I doing that in my own mind? So I make it more of a like, oh, someone is just trying to create a little bit of pain just to maybe feel something or get a little like, that's the
It's
thing.
an addiction.
Get to the core of it. It's like you're creating like a little tug in your brain to interact with. But if you give it power, it gets to be powerful. But it's the same thing about like creating and manifesting any reality you want. The same clown in your head that's like, you're inadequate and you don't belong here and it's imperfect and nobody's gonna fucking like it anyway. There's another clown with equal validity that is saying, this is amazing. If you show up imperfectly, this is like the best that you can do right now, and you showing up is amazing and wonderful and needed, and you're loved. Like, those two clowns are brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just saying shit. It's baseless. Your association to yourself is what will contextualize which clown do I want to listen to. Do I want to listen to the clown that's like, you're a piece of shit and nobody will ever fucking listen or like you? That's boring as fuck. Like, if you listen to
because
that,
what do you do?
then I'm in the sewer with you.
No,
Or-
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
That clown brings you nowhere.
Well,
That clown will bring you nowhere ever, ever. But the optimistic clown, if you hold his hand for a little bit, you can be and experience yourself. You're only nurturing a connection to shame, you're going to have a very shameful mindset. If you nurture a connection to optimism and belief and faith, then you have a relationship to self, to God, to whatever you spirit, like whatever you want to call it, your inner child, like all of that is like
in the same
thing to me.
But it's like for so long, I've been thinking of myself as this small since like from 0 to 18. I don't know when, what age, who knows?
Right.
But I feel like it's like generational thinking that's passed down.
A lot of it is socialization. It's like even out of your parents' control, because it's like them socialized into the same beliefs, indoctrination. And it starts at a young age because that's the prime age to indoctrinate children. Because if you get them young, they'll do it for themselves. And that's where the voice comes in. And I read the 4 Agreements. I don't know if you've ever read it.
That book.
Yeah, and
I
it's
love
the
that
judge,
book.
and it's like
the judge,
you start the judge, and like you want to conform and stuff, and someone's gonna point it out when you're different,
Yeah.
and so then it's like so once someone points it out, then you are cognizant in your own head. Oh, okay, like I need to stand like this, and when you see someone be different, it's like, so why are you being like this? Well, so it's definitely like the socialization, and it's like. I think shame and codependency, especially in Western, I don't know where it all comes from, but I feel like, especially in Western society, like how codependency and the avoidant attachment style, and even how it attributes to like feminine energy and masculine energy, and how it's to extremes instead of like finding a duality and a balance of like, this person doesn't need to become your everything because you're your everything, and like you guys can exist both and you're important equal. Like I feel like there's not enough like trying to exist in a middle ground, and it's a lot of extremities in our society like in general, and that's also why we socialize people. Like you can't just like be whoever you want to be or express yourself however you want to be, because you need to be either one or another. I feel like all the black and white thinking is like a big part, because that's not how anything should be. Nothing should be black and white. Like going forward, you have to forget the past is information and the future is hope, but you can't exist. You must just exist in the present, because if you spend time dwelling on what could have been in the past, like you're wasting time in the present looking backwards already. But if it's like point B, I'm awake. I know these things to be true now, so now I have all this time to be awake and look like, you know what I mean? Because at least you're not sleeping, you know what I mean? At least you're not still in that past you anymore. That's your freedom. It's real, it's valid, process it, hold space for it, but it's like at least you have this awareness now, and that's your strength. So live in it, live in that truth of like, okay, well, now this is my truth, and how do I enact my truth every day? And I feel like if you're trying your best every day to enact the truth of your authenticity and like what you know to be true about yourself, that's your golden ticket, because then you have a whole world before. That's only 18 years. You could live for, you know what I mean?
Right,
So it's like, cut that, okay, bitch. Okay, you know what I mean? People's like life, like, you know, I think we think of life like so in such a like hyper, you know, like black and white, like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, 18, you know, you didn't even have any awareness. You had no control that time. But now you here are awake. And I saw this one video that was so beautiful. I don't really know any of the references, but it was basically like, you're not breaking, like, you know, that's so much energy to put weight on your shoulders, but starting new, starting fresh, burn the rest of that shit away, and how, like, plant new seeds for yourself, plant new gems, plant new rituals, plant new ways of thinking, new pathways, because obviously that stuff is going to be there, and it's never going to, you know, the imprint lasts forever, but it's like, how can your new pathways override it and like be more lush, a more lush garden, easier access than the old things, you know what I mean? You're just tuning out those old pathways and making a louder pathway that you can access more freely, and that takes practice.
Yeah.
Heavy on that. Like, you're saying that it gets very difficult, and sometimes it feels like you're reverting, but it's like, even the fact that you can perceive you're reverting means that you're changing. The fact that you can distinguish the you right now from the you that did exist means that you have changed. Because before, the past you were just there. You didn't even have a barometer of where I could go or who else I could be. So you, in 4 years, is going to have an even different perspective and zoom out on who you are today. Allow yourself even a little bit of compassion for the growth you've already experienced. Even if you can't be like smothering yourself in love. That's hard to do. It's not easy to just be in complete, you know, like adoration.
That's not realistic.
That's not real.
It's I think one thing that I've like, it's taking care of yourself through those periods.
Yes.
That's what
Being
real
gentle,
love is.
Being gentle and also letting yourself feel. This is one thing I've been practicing through like so many different emotions. Anxiety, grief, anger, sadness, like the sticky material. Shame, resentment, jealousy, envy, every heavy emotion. Don't shame it, because it's a human emotion. I didn't ask for that emotion to be baked into my body. Like, it's just here.
It's here.
So I literally view it as a guest in my house. Sit it down for tea and be like, okay, what's up? Because it's natural to experience a reaction, but how reactive you are to your own emotions dictates how enslaved you are to your own mind. Because I really try to view myself as like, there is a child inside of me that is reacting to the environment. Like, I'm a Cancer, you're a Cancer, you know.
I know.
You know, that natural sensitivity is already there. And I think, but also there's a very nurturing energy, a very maternal energy that I believe like Cancer placements have, creating almost like a relationship to yourself as if you're mothering the child within you, and like giving yourself the space to be like, what do you feel? However you feel, I hold you, and whoever that is, whatever that feeling is, I hold you, and I don't judge you. Because when you judge yourself, that's when you start to shame yourself, and you deny yourself the humanity of your existence. But at the end of the day, it's like, we are natural creatures.
Right.
We are a piece of nature, and nature does not just change like that. Evolution happens over millions and millions and millions of years, over slow microscopic changes that happen every day. So even if you look at a small change that you make every single day of like, I had a very rough like voice in my head today, but I said something sweet and I gave myself a moment of kindness, like one pocket of kindness today. That
I
small
fed myself.
pocket.
I gave myself water. I went outside.
Talked to my friends today.
You know, like, you
went on
know,
a
do
bike
things
ride.
to self-soothe yourself. Take care. How can you, like, give yourself, even if whatever you're going through, how can you give yourself those little, like, because you still deserve it, even at your fucking lowest.
Exactly.
You still.
Exactly. There's this one quote I saw on social media. It was like, we come into this world soft and malleable. Like, babies are soft. They're literally like impressionable. They're sponges to the world around them. And life responds to softness. Life doesn't respond to rigidity. Rigidity of mind, rigidity of self. When you put yourself in a box, you close life off from entering you. But when you remain soft and changeable and moldable and expanded, then you allow change into your heart, and you allow like
And life is change.
something greater into your own mind and body. But that is a practice. Everything is a practice. I'm in that practice right now.
And you'll be in it.
And that's not gonna change. I'll be in that bitch until the day I'm out of here. But all that matters is that it's like, we're just channeling information. Really, like we're just channeling information, and your antenna can point into bullshit, or it can point into something that actually will help you. And we're also the ones that are going to be programming children. So the better you can equip yourself to care for you, the better you can care for everybody around you. Like,
I feel like you're just like a literal spirit. Like you're just an entity.
you're just a dude in a body, but we're all the same dude.
We are.
It's all the same dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's that one dude. But it's just split up amongst all this shit.
Right.
Like
And
the
you're-
mushrooms and the trees, it's all one dude. Like, I also think it really helps that like when you're in the thick of it, and you're really going through like some nasty like emotional spell, and you're like, okay, I know that, like, you know that this is happening, and you're like intellectualizing it. Sometimes it's like you can't even fucking fight it. Sometimes you just can't. You just have to
feel
let
it.
Feel it
Because that
as
will
well as you can. But
transmute it faster instead of
Exactly.
fighting it. I think that's something that was really hard for me. I feel like I'm very, like, I can intellectualize my emotions very well, but actually letting it go
In your
through
body.
my body and like sitting with my body is very hard. After my first relationship, I realized how much crying helps. Like, I was like, dang,
Yeah,
I'm
it
low-key
helps.
grateful to you for teaching me how to cry so much.
Yeah.
Like, but it really does like help to release that energy from your body.
and shaking ass.
Yes,
Like, people
no,
don't talk about it enough.
no,
Really?
y'all need to
Wait.
twerk in your
People
bedroom.
don't talk about it enough.
Get
How
those
much,
mechanisms
like
up.
a little, just like shake.
Even like going out, like seeing how people restrict themselves from moving their body.
Yes.
And it's
Oh
like,
my
and
gosh.
that's like, this is the one thing that you come, like, I don't know why you come out to do,
Literally.
but me, I come out to dance, I
Yeah.
come out to move, shake it, like, da, da, da. Like, there's so much energy in your body, and even how, like, and it doesn't even have to be out, like, people even, like, with certain people who are supposed to be your friends, people who you're supposed to be feeling safe, you're at home, why can't you shake, you, like, dance, why can't you
Shake
express
something.
yourself? So it's like
Yeah.
the ways that you even restrict your own expression when you're safe to express. You don't even let yourself feel what express. And I think that's another thing. Like when you don't let your body, if you don't have exposure to something, your body doesn't even know how to process it or what it feels like or what it looks like. So when you don't have chances to express yourself, you literally don't even know how to like approach it. But if you don't even give your body a chance to feel out awkward expression or like just to be a novice or be embarrassing or like just to do it, then you're never gonna even like know how to get it into your
It's
body.
stifled.
It's gonna be, it's always gonna be natural. It's always gonna be, it's like the pathways, like I was talking about. If you don't ever attune yourself or try to, you know, tap into it, it's not gonna, you're not gonna have easy access to that energy, and it's constantly being restricted.
We would say that with compliments. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, like when people compliment you and then you're like, no, you know, it's
Yeah.
okay, it's
Like,
alright.
what? And one thing I saw,
I love a double down. I'm like,
thank you, because
Thank you.
yes, but one thing I
like
also
it too.
like, saw that someone did when people compliment is like physically basking in, because it's like, thank you for seeing me, thank you for acknowledging me, because people hate to acknowledge people sometimes as well too.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing. It's like, the thing about jealousy, it's like when you see something and you think it doesn't exist in you. And I think that's the thing, that when energy is on earth, it exists, period.
Yeah.
So it's there for the taking. Everyone has access to it. If you see something in someone and it catches your eyes, it's not like, oh my god, like I could never, like da, 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 like oh my god, like you're just so and I could never, you're so like, but I could never. What do you mean you could never? What is actually stopping you? Like physically nothing is stopping you. If someone have a gun to your head, you could never? Like that shit actually pisses me off, because it's never that serious, because it's like, oh, like I love how you do that, and maybe I'm gonna add it to my background, like I can try it, because I think people are so restricted.
take a taste for yourself.
Literally,
What
try
makes
a
you think you can't
taste, take a
just because you're
nibble.
seeing someone else eat on their plate? You can.
Everyone can eat. go around. I think it's just when you see a lack mindset, and I think people think like the world is so expansive and so abundant, and it's like literally no matter what, you can do anything. Any energy exists for your taking. And the thing is, the only sad thing about this thing is when people don't have the resources and the accessibility to see what's possible. But once you see what's possible, that means that it exists, and so it's for you. But if your mind has never had that, like that pathway unlocked, you're not gonna know. I feel like words are so powerful. Words are so powerful. So even saying I could never, why would you ever say that? You will never catch me ever speak. You will never. I'm like, okay, if you can't, I don't know.
And also, I have a thing with like when people tell me I can't do something, it puts like a fire under my ass to literally be like, yeah, I can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. Like, who are you to dictate?
And immediately
my
you should be counteracting, because people, I think, and in the 4 agreements it talks about emotional poison and words being poisonous, and like that's so much, and that is so much of programming, words and like socialization, and like how words are used against people and like used against so many things. Like words are very meticulous, and so even like when people say certain things, like internally you should be rejecting everything, because interactions, exchange of energy, you don't know what people are really giving off to you. And so when you're expressing yourself, it makes you a light, and it also makes you a target.
Exactly, like intention is not something that's always clear. Someone could be sweet to your face and have deep resentment and jealousy and hatred for you in their heart, and vice versa. Someone could show
and they don't even
as
have
being,
to know it.
And
they don't have to
it
know
can happen subconsciously too. Like they're just operating out of the way, like their own system is just operating for them. Because I much rather hang out with people that are practicing expanding into something greater. If I'm going to be around people, it needs to be that. Otherwise, I'm going to be fucking alone. Because I've been alone, and I know what it's also like to be around people that are they're just like taping one foot down to the ground, and then it's like, you're just never going to ever get to fly because you're putting so much energy like staying on the ground.
Yeah.
Because you're also afraid to fly and go try
you're
some
afraid.
shit. But literally, fear is like the main motivator behind most of the things. It's all just ego. Like people, like your sense of self is on the line if you do things imperfectly, or you show up imperfectly in public, or you make a mistake in public. It doesn't even matter. Like even with like music, for example, like I've done like some live shows this summer, and I literally told myself before, I was like, I don't even know what I'm getting into. I don't even know what I'm getting into.
It's your first time. It's your first time. It's your first time
existing
existing in most things.
I'm a baby.
You haven't done most things.
So if I view myself as a baby doing this, well then it doesn't even matter how I perform. This is practice. Remove your ego from it, because it has nothing to do with how good I am or how worthy I am or where I'm going to go in the future. It's just an experiment. Let's just see, can I do this? Yeah, I can do it. I might not be doing it at the level that I want or where my expectations are, but I did it, and I pat myself on the back for doing it, because that's where like the actual relationship and compassion comes in, because I'm a baby at it. I don't have all this experience and training, but literally like audacity is all you need. Just do it. They're trying to amplify and help you and support you in your journey, like enable you to become a better version of yourself, or give you resources or connect you with people. That's the only case where I feel like that level of focus on you, I think, is like justified, because that's like a helper, that's an ally, that's a friend. Like people that are very narcissistic, when they notice that you have like that kind of je ne sais quoi, like that light, that like open-heartedness, some nasty people cling to that, and they want to possess suck it dry.
Out of you. I think that relates to codependency and even avoidance. I think in a feminine and masculine is like wanting to possess people, wanting to possess energy without just acknowledging it, appreciating it, and letting it go.
When your heart is open and you're surrounded by other people whose hearts are open, without malice, without like jealousy and envy, and you're just genuinely like, bro, like you're super cool. Like literally we're like always just like, oh my god, you're so cute, or like genuinely just loving on each other in a way that there's no like
I'm just grateful for your
I'm
spirit.
just like, bro, you're literally the cool, like you're a cool ass person. I'm glad to know you. I'm glad
cross
you're
your path in this life.
I'm glad to
exist
learn
with you in this moment. To exist with you in this moment, because that's special. There's millions of fucking odds to like that our spirits are here.
Exactly. That we're even here, and what are the chances, and what beauty it is to connect with a like-minded spirit and mind,
and learn and
like,
grow.
Exactly, because when it's collective work, it feels like a burden that isn't exactly just yours,
Mhm.
you know, rather than just, oh, it's me versus myself and this bitch until the end. Like, yes,
It is.
but
It
we're
is.
all in that
Exactly,
together.
we're all doing that. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have a track with like a few we sing a
A few
little
bad
song,
bitches
and then the
out there,
rain coming. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? But it's like, oh, okay, y'all fucking, it
Yeah.
sucks right now too. Okay,
Yeah,
you know.
let's go.
I have my own antenna in my own body. I'm not just gonna
Keep
keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep up with y'all. Y'all on a different pace, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And we still love each other.
You know what I
We still
mean?
love each other because taking the space that you need in the moment and allowing, like seeing
Taking care of
how
yourself.
people react to when you are being exactly yourself. That is
Yeah.
all you need to do is stand 10 toes down and who you are, and how people react is none of your business, because what sticks is meant for you, what's not, bye.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Bye.
And if the relationship, if you really love, real love, it will see you, your
Through.
real self,
Yeah.
and be like, okay. And that's where it's like comes accountability, comes what we both need. But I see you and I want this relationship. So how do we move forward? And then you grow. And that builds even more trust and security. Even when I didn't have the relationships I have now, it's like, okay, but I do have like these strong, powerful relationships with my sisters, or I have a strong relationship with my family. That love exists. It's the hardest thing.
It is.
It's the hardest thing.
Literally.
Because if you're truly honest about any relationship situation, your own relationship with yourself, you get the warning signals.
It's very powerful.
I think we would have been good friends, maybe. Like when we were all young.
Yeah.
We were
I was a
all
little
young.
bit of a bitch. I'm not gonna
Oh, I was like nonverbal, like would just
Yeah.
stare a bitch down.
lie.
No, I was a
might have
bully,
bullied you.
so-
Yeah. I might have bullied you.
No, I was
Like,
an asshole.
Like, I was a bit of a dick. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.